Hey you guys, welcome to my channel. Chelly, the Forex TradeHER here. Heavy on the her in this male dominant industry because y'all know the vibes. So by the title of this video, we're going to be going over a tool on Tradingview that you can use to see how long it'll take for your trades to hit on average. So I'm not going to talk y'all to death. I will say that I wanted to make this video as soon as I was asked to make it, but it's been a really busy week for me, you guys. My aunt owns a cleaning company and one of her workers went on vacation this week. So I've been filling in for her for this week. So I only work a couple hours, like literally 2 to 3 hours, but on top of me making sure I'm still catching my trades, making sure I'm taking care of my clients and, things of that nature, I've been a little busy. So I'm happy to finally be able to make this video for you guys. I hope that it is super helpful and I hope that it gives you more confidence in trusting your setups. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get right into this. Look at my cute background. This is my vision board for the year. Manifesting is key, you guys. So here we are on TradingView. Let me move this up a bit so it's not in the way. So I was asked on, one of my subscribers asked me something along the lines of, how do you know how long to hold your trades? Even in the beginning of my journey, it was very hard for me to realize that, you have to actually hold your trades in order for your target prices to be hit. And, going through that holding period can be very tough, especially if you don't fully trust your analysis. And that's also another thing I want to stress. Trusting your analysis is key. And being comfortable with the risk you're taking is really what will ensure that you can hold your trades confidently. Like when you know what you're risking, you'll hold your trade without a doubt because you're comfortable with the risk you're taking. So off the bat alone, outside of the tool I'm going to show you that you can use, you also want to ensure that you are risking a comfortable amount because that will keep your nerves down, your emotions tamed, and allow you to keep that discipline to hold your trades. So I'm going to start on the day charts and I'm going to put some notes on here too, you guys, for my note takers. So the first thing I want to say is, knowing how long you hold your trades ultimately depends on your zones. It depends on your supply and demand zones, and how close apart they are and how fast your pair moves, how many pips it moves on average, things of that nature. So for this example, first things first, how long do I need to hold my trade for? So one, keep in mind that your zones tell you a story. And what that means is your zones tell you on average how many candlesticks will it take for it to hit that next zone. Second thing is learn your pair. Learn your pair and study it and focus on how far apart you should set your zones. And I'm going to go through all this with you. And then the third thing is prediction tools. So that is my notes for you guys. Everything else will be verbal and visual. So feel free to have your notepad out because note takers are money makers. So first things first, you guys, off the bat, I'm gonna just throw some zones on here. And you always want to make sure your zones are relevant to current price. So I'm gonna just put a zone here because this is where a push up took place, relevant to current price. And then my next zone. Now, the thing with GBP, USD, or just GBP pairs in general, And this is just for this specific pair. Every pair moves differently. But what I've noticed with GBP pairs is on average, they move at least 100 pips, if not 200. So anywhere between that point, you can space your zones about 100 pips. Excuse me, 100 pips or so, 100 pips minimum. So I'm gonna put a zone right here, you guys, because this is where a sale took place. Looks like an area where it broke, and you know your trigger candles formed there. So these are gonna be my zones relevant to current price. And I'm gonna put one more zone because I just can't help myself, because I see that this is another good area. And honestly, I probably could move it up just a touch, just so it's like right there. Because this was the break. So price came from here, broke, retested. Yeah, so those are your zones. Now, next thing you'll do is learn and study your pairs. And the same thing that I'm doing here, you guys, you can do this on any chart. Like you can literally go on any pair and mark your zones relevant to current price, and then really just study how, how many candlesticks are moving in your pair, how far down does it go, like things like that. You want to like really study the movements of your pair. Now, moving to the prediction tool, and I could leave this here. Now, moving to the prediction tool, a lot of people I don't know if they don't know or they just, are unaware, but there is a prediction tool tab. So it is the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, the one. Yeah. So right here, this is the prediction and measurement tools. These tools allow you to literally measure the moves of the market, how many pips it will take for it to get from A to B, or from even A to B to C in this case, because you could have got in here, and it would have concluded down there. But you can use the price range tool or the date range tool. Price range is going to tell you, and let me make sure I'm telling y'all the right stuff first. Yeah. So price range is going to tell you how many pips it'll take for that trade to conclude. Date range tells you how many days you can expect to hold your trade for. And you can favorite these and put them in your tools bar so that you don't have to always search for them. I literally put all my tools in a tools bar so that I do not have to even go over here and mess with all this action. I wish I could put this measure tool in my favorites bar, but it doesn't matter. You can also use this measure tool though as well to see how many pips it'll take. But if you want the specific day, hours, or things of that nature, you want to use the date range tool, and they also have it packed together as a date and price range. So you can have them all together in one. So let's use the date range first. And I'm going to start up here so we can see how long it would have took for your trade to hit the take profit here. So you just set this tool right at your zone where you're going to get your entry. I trade zone to zone, literally the best way to trade, hands down. And what we're going to do is, and actually I want to do that differently. So let me re-click this. Let me make sure it's the right one. Yep. So I'm going to start it right here because this is where we would have got our entry. This is where I would have got my entry because I go off of candlestick patterns. And sometimes, this is the retest. Some people might look at this as a retest as well because it is sort of a retest. It's just not fully at the zone. But I'm going to do it right here because this is where I would have got my entry. And you're going to click it there, and we're going to drag it all the way through all these candles that formed. And then you're going to drop it down to where the target price was hit. Now, let me move this down a bit. Now, what this is telling me is 42 bars, 60 days, and the volume is 15. I don't care about the volume for real, y'all. I only look at the 42 bars, 60 days. So what this means is from this point to this point, there's 42 candlesticks that formed. I'm not going to count it to confirm, but that means that there's 42 candlesticks that formed here. And this entire trade took average 60 days, so roughly 2 months. Now that might sound like a long time. It is a long time, but there's ways to properly trade this so that you're still actively paying yourself during the 60 days. And if you want a video on profit goals or how to, scale your account, how to go about swing trading, because this is definitely a swing and position trade, drop a comment and I will make a video on that. But for the sake of this video and keeping it under 20 minutes, I don't want to touch on that. So what I will say though is with this date range tool, all you do is drag it from where your entry is to your target price. And on average, because we're on the day chart, you guys, that's why this is going to take this long, because keep in mind the time frame you're on tells you how long your candles take to close. So the day chart, these candles take 24 hours to close. So of course, this is going to be, a lot of days, because it takes a day for each candle to close. So on average, 60 days. And, there might be cases where this may have hit before 60 days, but on average, this lets you know that you don't want to close your trades too early. You don't want to stress about how long should I hold it. This will give you an idea of what to expect so that you're not hawking your trades. And even if you're not fully comfortable with holding your trades, you guys, keep in mind you can trail your stop loss. So like whenever you hit a certain amount of profit, just move your stop loss and profit. That way, even if the trade reverses, you will be able to break even because you have your stop loss and profit. So I'm going to show you one more example, you guys. Hopefully you paused this, took a picture of this because I'm going to delete it. And now I'm going to go to the 4 hour. I'm going to refresh this. And now I'm going to show you how long this trade would have took to play out. So we're going to go to the date range tool again. And actually, I'm going to use the date and price range tool just to show you how to use that. But we're going to do the same thing. I would have got an entry about right here. Honestly, once all this consolidation happened and, the sellers started coming in more, I definitely would have got my entry off that shooting star pattern. So I'm going to put it right here. And now I'm going to drag this all the way over to here. And really, you could do it right there because that's literally right where it got kissed. So now we're on the 4 hour, remember? So now price range, -850. The reason it's negative is because this was a sale. So from here to here, this is 850 pips. From here to here, this is 88 candlesticks. The reason why it's some more candlesticks is because it's the 4 hour time frame. It only takes 4 hours for these candles to close, so more candles are being produced. 20 days, 16 hours. Now, we literally just saw the day chart took average 60 days, but because we're on the 4 hour and these candles take less time, the trade will take less time to play out. So it also depends on what chart you get your entry on or what time frame you do your analysis on. So the lower the time frame, the less time you have to hold your trade. And I'm gonna go down to one more time frame. I'm gonna do like the 15-minute for my scalpers, actually the 5-minute chart. Now, we can't even see our zones on this chart, and that's because those zones were drawn on a higher time frame. So because this chart has literally an insane amount of candles that show up, however I should word that, I just had a brain fart, y'all. Because we're on the 5-minute chart, these candles take 5 minutes to close. So there's going to be way more candles that are forming. And our zones are somewhere down here. And the other one is up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom this out because I don't want to change our zones. Just keep in mind, whatever time frame you go to, just make sure you are making your zones relevant to current price so that you can catch a trade based on what's happening in the now. These zones were based on the day chart. So of course, they're not relevant to price on the 5-minute chart because there's so many candles forming. So what I'm going to do is, I hope this works how I would like it to. I'm going to drag it like that, and I'm just going to keep dragging it up because there's no way for me to, you know, do this how I prefer. Let me zoom it like that. So, oops, y'all just saw that. I did not mean to move that. So, oopsie. So, boom. So now, if I did this correctly, you know what? I'm gonna redo this, y'all, because I don't like how this looks. Thinking. So on the 5-minute chart, the reason why I don't like this is because it's only saying that it's going to take a day and some, is because we're doing this from here to here, and this is going off of the day chart zones. So if I were to make these zones relevant to current price, it would not take this long. But because I'm going off of the fact that I would have got an entry here and I would have been riding it up to this zone, it's going to take 400 candles, and it's going to take a day for this trade to play out. So keep in mind that these zones are from the day chart. So just to do this really quick, and then that'll conclude this video. But if I were to just throw some zones on here relevant to current price, so like I'll put a zone here because I noticed there's 2 touches here and it looks like price is rejecting this area, and that is a possible bearish engulfing candle. So I will put that zone there. And then I'm going to put a zone about here because I noticed that price broke and retested here, and it retested twice and pushed up. So these are going to be my 2 zones. Now I'm going to take that tool again, and instead of doing the sell, I'm going to do the buy, since that is a completed trade and the sale is ongoing right now. So I'm going to take my JM price range tool. I probably would have got my entry right about here because that was the break and retest. And then I'm going to drag this up to here because this is where the take profit would have been kissed. So now that I've updated my zones, you guys, it literally dropped this to 30 bars, so 30 candles, and this trade took 2.5 hours to catch 93 pips. So that is how you can go about as far as how long to hold your trade, you guys. I don't use the prediction tool anymore because I am at the point where I trust my analysis. But if you're still in your early on stages and you're still grasping patience and discipline and confidence, then I highly suggest you utilize this tool, demo it, play around with it, get a good feel of it, maybe work on, understanding your zones better. I do have a video for supply and demand that is coming tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. But overall, this should help you as far as understanding how long you should be holding the trades for. So I hope this video was helpful, and I hope that it makes your life so much easier and ensures that you have an even more profitable strategy. If I mentioned anything in this video that you want further help on, leave it in the comments. I will definitely add it to my list of content for you guys. And with that being said, like this video, comment on it, and subscribe to my channel for more content. I will see you guys in the next video.